Can you guys hear me? Yay! Okay, I'm on a little bit of a delay, guys. Okay, go eat your ice cream. Okay. So, what had happened was I got the encoder to do this, and it would not for the life of me pick up any audio. So my husband was up here, and he was downloading another encoder to his laptop because I'm on a Mac and he's on a PC. So he was downloading some PC only ones, and we were like between two laptops trying to figure it out. That's why you guys kept hearing me echoing, because he had my voice coming out of that thing. So we're good. It finally goes, and now he's gonna go eat ice cream. So, for those of you that stuck around, like Critical and oh god, there was somebody further up. I'm going to grab your name. Entity 119 and Shelly O or Shelly Zero. Thank you guys. And Doctor and Caitlin, I see you guys. I see you, Fuzzums. Thank you all, and thank you for bearing with me. Jesus, like, yeah. YouTube made this way more complicated than it had to be. I was like 2 seconds away from saying, like, let's all just go to Facebook, because I'm pretty sure I can do that in like 5 seconds there. So, anyway, now that I'm done bitching about YouTube and its stupid streaming capabilities, and I'm half hour late, what would you guys like to talk about? So, yeah, because I didn't really have a structure for this one. Whatever you guys kind of want to talk about is cool with me. I know we have a conversation about grinding up Girl Scouts into cookies going on in the chat. I talked about how awesome Mrs. Fields' ice cream cookies are. And I believe I was promised one if I got my audio working, so I'm going to hold you guys to that. Yeah, there's been some tiny stuff going on with the channel, but nothing super major that I thought justified an actual video. I launched merchandise, which I know a lot of you guys saw, and we hit 2K, which obviously you go to hell, Critical. He just said, now that I hear your voice, I'm not that impressed, yawn. Yeah, it's all auto-tune. All of it's auto-tune. Just, that's what I do. But hit 2K, launch merchandise. I don't know how many of you guys actually watch my videos or how many treat it as like a podcast. I don't really care either way. Do what you're gonna do. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I did make some stylistic changes to the last video, the one on Drag Me to Hell and Eating Disorders. So if you guys like that, I'm going to keep building upon that. If you guys don't like it, well then I'll just go back to what I was doing. So I'm going to be working on that. I am trying to work on changing my audio before I get a better microphone, because I have to save up for that. So we're going to see how that goes. So there's going to be a lot of technical stuff going on in the background. So if you hear something that's like really not right, feel free to shout it out. Or if you like something, again, feel free to shout it out. And Doctor, when you say the worst horror movie I've ever seen, worst as in bad or worst as in like grisly, gory, nasty? Because there's a lot of different types of bad. Some are good, some are bad. Yeah, that was a terrible statement. I should not say. Poorly made. Okay, poorly made. There's maybe 2 or 3 movies I would consider complete and total garbage. One of them is a horror movie called The Mailman. I picked it up when Hollywood Video was closing down and selling off DVDs for like 50 cents. And I found it and I picked it up because it looked okay and it looked brand new. Which, to be fair, I found a lot of really good movies there that like looked brand new. I got Channel Z, a Magnificent Obsession, which was about like the first pay movie channel before HBO, Showtime, and all that. I also got The Devil and Daniel Johnston, which is a really cool music documentary. I know he's kind of been corrupted by hipsters as far as some people are concerned, but I still really like that movie, and both of them look brand new. I miss Hollywood Video as well, but we luckily still have a video rental store. But, yeah, I got The Mailman. It was clearly an early 2000s film. And the big beef I had with it is everybody had cell phones, like old flip phones, but everybody was sending mail still. So this mailman was like doing all these terrible things to people's mail. Like some guy was cheating on his girlfriend and they were sending love letters through the mail. It's like, dude, if you're gonna cheat on somebody, like, destroy the evidence. Don't leave a paper trail. Why the fuck would you do that? That makes no sense. So that happened. Like, it just didn't make sense. The plot didn't make any sense. It was so poorly shot and done. It was just boring. And I don't want to call Night of Horror complete unwatchable crap. It was one of the things I put in the Lost to VHS episode because it never got converted off. The problem is it's shot really dark in SOV, which is fine. But the audio's so bad, you can't hear what they're saying. You have to, like, crank it all the way up. And then it's just like... It's like, why would you... Don't do that. Like, pay attention to your audio. It's like, I don't have to have pristine audio, but I have to have at least listenable to know what the plot is. If I remember correctly, that was the really long plot that everybody just said was really convoluted. In terms of movies, because somebody said both, as in, like, audio so bad you can't hear anything, eh? Fuck you, Critical. Fuck you. Yeah, I know, guys. I know. I believe me. We had 2 people sitting here working on this, and then my encoder crashed about 5 times between trying to fix it and get on here. So, yeah, this was really bad. I'm going to definitely make sure I do more test streams before. I popped in real quick. I think Fuzzum saw it. Or, like, I popped in to make sure I could cast and pop right back out. I guess I should have tried saying testing or Arnold Palmer before that. Wait, what did you win, Critical? And what did you beat Entity out for? Was there a contest I didn't know about? Am I giving something away? Because I don't have anything. So, yeah, in terms of a movie that was, like, friggin', like, bad and... I'm trying to think of something. Like... Yes, you all win my attention. Everybody wins my attention, Entity. Critical, you're never gonna win the sarcasm contest against me. That's not gonna happen. You and I have collaborated together, and I beat you down hands down each time. I'm sorry, those are facts. So gonna start releasing diss tracks, because apparently that's how we handle drama on YouTube now. It's just diss track after diss track. And I can't rap. So white. So white. Have I ever seen a movie called Satanic? It really sucks and not in a good way. I don't... Wait, is that the newer one? Is Satanic on Netflix and, like, the covers a freaking, like, zombie kind of girl with, like, her mouth stitched up and, something carved on her chest? Because if so, I have seen that one, Doctor. Yeah, I have seen Satanic then. Because I think I watched it last October. I don't remember it being god-awful, but then again, I don't remember what it was, which normally tells me something. If it's so, like, I don't remember a single thing about it, normally means it was, like, sucky the forgettable kind. Or just really middle of the road and boring. Okay, so apparently people are going to show assholes to each other now. There's like a whole ass contest going on between Critical and Space. So that's fun. Satanic. I think there was another question in here. And if I'm forgetting or missing your question, just please repeat it, because there's not a whole crazy amount of people in here, so it's not like I should be missing stuff on a stream. Because, yeah. Which is probably a nice thing. So, that was the worst movie. Those were the two worst movies I've probably ever seen. It's The Mailman and Night of Horror. And Night of Horror was also shot locally, so there's that bit of local pride about it, but no. What's the best kind of cookie to hide, Girl Scout cookie to hide a dead body in? Okay. In terms of variety, I'm gonna go with a Samoa. And hear me out, because it has that sticky bit, and it has flakes of coconut, so you could easily flake some parts and just like put them in there, and people probably wouldn't be the wiser. But at the same time, flaking down a human being is going to be a lot of work. So the other one, I guess, is those lemon ones, because nobody fucking likes them. And if nobody fucking likes them, the boxes are going to go to the landfill, and they're just throwing the body out for you. Nobody's going to bring a sniffing dog to, Girl Scouts. Alright, critical. There was that one horror film from a couple of years back now that ended with a car crash and cut to a black screen advertising the film's website. That's not a... Is that a question? A couple of years back now that ended with a car crash and cut to black screen. Yes, Fuzzums, I have seen Naked Lunch. We actually inadvertently have 2 criterions of that and ended up giving it to our one friend because it broke his brain. So it's the nastiest horror movie I've ever seen. Okay, nasty. Honestly, it's weird. I bought those Lucifer Valentine films for the episode. Like, I comped to that because there was just no other way to get them. I rented them off Netflix I rented off Netflix back when Netflix still only did DVD, and they were just like in their streaming infancy. And I couldn't remember them well enough because it had been too many years. I can't say... Yeah, The Devil Inside had a car crash at the end of it, but yeah, I don't remember them advertising their website at the end of that. Yeah, I really don't remember that critical. That's... Like, I do remember the car crash, though. Anyway. So, the Vomit Gore trilogy was not something I would have bought for my own collection had I not been planning a Vomit Gore episode. The whole vomit thing is like, it grosses me out. I'm not going to eat while watching those movies, but at the same time, it does get to a point, it's like, you get a little queasy. It's just going to happen. Did The Devil Inside break your brain, or did the Vomit Gore trilogy break your brain? Because, Naked Lunch broke your brain. I following conversations, I'm not totally stupid. Yeah, no, not in the least. So I would probably count that as one of the nastiest horror movies I've ever seen. It doesn't totally qualify as horror, but it is that weird, like, really out there extreme art film that kind of pushes into horror and all the Gorehounds lists, and that one's I Stand Alone. And the only reason I wouldn't... It's not nasty because of what you see. It's nasty because the concept of it that you find out at the end, and I don't want to spoil the ending, is really disgusting, just at a baseline. And if that makes any sort of sense, like, it's really hard to talk about that movie without, like, spoiling the ending for you guys. If you haven't seen it for some reason. I personally wouldn't really recommend it, but whatever. Oh, okay. You guys are talking, are you guys going to start swapping book recommendations? Because that would be kind of cool. Is it worse than Human Centipede in terms of... I would say I Stand Alone told a less interesting story than Human Centipede, but I'm sure plenty of people would debate me on that one. In terms of what you see, yeah, no, it's not worse than Human Centipede. Like, it's just not... Nothing actually comes to fruition, it's all more of the talks of the act. And the Vomit trilogy, yeah, I would put was worse than Human Centipede. Because, there is some... They don't know about poop thing in that one like they do in Human Centipede, but they absolutely have a pee thing. Like, and once again, proving that I cannot get through any type of anything without talking about pooping or peeing once. Like, just can't. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just now seeing all of the comments asking what was going on. So hopefully these people find their way back. Okay. We did figure out the technical difficulties, and I am sorry again. Yeah, didn't Burroughs write that book? Didn't Burroughs write that book in a heroin blackout? Like, nothing, and we're talking about Naked Lunch for anybody that's not in the stream right now. They're talking about Naked Lunch, specifically the movie adaptation by Cronenberg of Burroughs' book. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in a heroin blackout. Like, he was on some serious drugs when he wrote that, and yeah, you can always say, oh yeah, you know, art's been fueled by drugs, but at the same time, there's a fine line between a little too much. There's that point where you just become an incoherent jackass. I mean, look at Anal Cunt or Gigi Allen. Just saying. Since we're on the topic of vomit, have you ever thrown up from watching a gross movie? The doctor asked that. No. I have not thrown up from watching a gross movie. I've gagged once or twice, and the funny thing is, it wasn't even horror movies. One of the most repulsive things to me is people when they hawk up loogies. I can't stand that. It grosses me the fuck out. So that beginning bit in Superbad, like, I just keeps hawking stuff on people. Yeah, I gagged and, like, had to just leave the room on that one. Because I couldn't handle it. Like, even talking about it, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not talking about this anymore. Because, yeah, that is, like, one of the grossest things in the world to me. I can handle poop, I can handle vomit, I can handle surgery footage. I just, for some reason, that gets on my nerves. Like, I don't know why. So, I'm just... So... Are we just gonna, like, sit here and talk about, like, as many shocking movies as we can? Because I'm down on that one. That doesn't bother me. Because I did do, for anybody that's kind of newer here, shut the fuck up, Space. For anybody that's newer here, I actually did do one that was, like, 20 shocking horror moments. It's not necessarily, like, my most shocking moments, but there were a couple that I'm just, like, historically, like, the big one I pull out is the Frankenstein one where he throws the kid in the water, because for that time period, it's just like, dude, that was insane. Like, you didn't kill kids. Like, there's still this massive stigma about killing kids in horror movies. So, thinking about a movie that early into filmmaking, yeah. Space just asked, what's the first shock horror movie I saw? I'm going to go with... For shock, it was probably in with, like, Saw or Hostel. I think Saw specifically, though, because that was just out around that time, and that was probably my first introduction to, like, torture porn and shock, and then I just dug from there, because I can't not go down rabbit holes. Critical, I've never vomited at a film or got sick, but I wasn't able to sit through Rainbot's video on the Pain Olympics. Yeah, Critical, if that's the case, I would not recommend watching Taxidermia, because I have a feeling you are referencing all of the bits that tend to make men cross their legs. Sometimes I get grossed out when people get their motors. I had a client that did that, and it was absolutely disgusting. Like, full-grown man. I'm like, dude, like, quit it. I would just sit there, and I'd start, for some reason... when I was, like, writing on the board or something to help him out, I would turn around and see him doing it. And for some reason, I thought me talking louder would make him stop, and it didn't. So it was just him sitting there doing that and me progressively getting louder. I don't know why I thought that would work. Space, have you watched the Rainbot video on the Pain Olympics? Or have you watched the Pain Olympics themselves? Can we even get videos like that on YouTube anymore? Like, I'm sure we can, just you gotta retitle them and they get taken down every 5 seconds, but... Because Critical and I were doing a collaboration the other day. I was editing it today and I forgot we had talked about like the Twilight Zone incident in the movie. There was, unfortunately, a few people lost their life during a helicopter accident. And there was footage of the one person getting decapitated. And that had made it onto YouTube a while ago. That's how I originally saw it. Okay. Yeah, the Pain Olympics were fake for the most part. It's weird because if you get into the body mod community, BME scene is like a huge. There's this kind of huge extreme following there, and it's like, and I was in the heavy mod community for a while, so it's not super weird. Like, because I think actually it might have been Rain posted a picture of somebody doing a suspension the other day, or it might have been months ago. Terrible concept of time. And people were just sitting there going on and on about it, and it's like, that's actually really old. It's like not that big of a deal. Because really what happens is the hooks go through the layer of skin, you place them correctly, you balance everything correctly, and that'll suspend you. I mean, the worst part really is the hooks going in. Your skin stretches, it's way more pliable than people think it is. Especially if you're under a certain age, because with the aging process, yes, you do lose elasticity in your skin. I mean, yeah, there's some blood and all that, but, because, I mean, I was bandaged, but, I mean, blood all over the night, but it wasn't anything more severe than that. There's a lot worse things you can find in there, like the bisections and all that. And that's why, I know they were having issues years back, because people kept trying to label them as porn site, and like, no, we're an educational website. And they are educational, it's just where that line between education and what kids could and couldn't see. Like, or visuals. What, am I being too descriptive, Possums? Or it's like, I figured with my videos you can watch this. I'm actually a little bit more descriptive right now than I normally am. Because I'm just like, ha! Screw you, YouTube! You made me a half hour late, so I'm gonna say the most vulgar thing I can on you. Without just, like, sitting here cursing out everybody. Because I would prefer not to do that, because you guys were nice and waited and are actually here, and that's awesome, and thank you. Because definitely thank you for that, and obviously I wouldn't be at 2K without you guys. Like, like, I've been pretty honest and upfront about why I started this channel. Yes, I will fight the powers that be. Doctor, I will fight them for Rain and Rob Dyke and Black Eyed Blonde and, I don't know, is Nightmare Expo getting demonetized? It's like, people that are getting demonetized. Hey Shelly, welcome back. I saw you earlier and thank you for being here when there was no audio. Oh, hey, thank you for giving up being productive. But, yeah, I've been up front, I have the pain issue, that's kept me out of work. So my motives to start a YouTube channel were very different. It was just to keep my own sanity. So, like, my soft goal was, like, okay, if I get to 100, that'd be awesome. And then I got that shout out and went from, like, 42 people to over 1,000 in, like, 3 days. It was freaking crazy. That's why I just, like, couldn't keep up with thanking everybody. And the growth has definitely slowed off, but I have no issue with that. Like, I'm not sitting here going, I'm gonna get subs, I'm gonna get subs, I'm gonna get subs. It's more, hey, I like sharing this stuff, I like trying to break down the stereotype, and I really like talking to you guys. Like, you guys are so awesome with the comments. I expected way more hate and way more drama and way more BS in my comment section, and I'm seeing people like writing paragraph dissertations like, well, this is why I respectfully disagree with you, and I'm like, okay, this is why I respectfully disagree with you back. It's awesome. Like, everybody warned me coming onto YouTube. It was like, well, you're a woman, so people are gonna threaten to rape you and shit. I'm like, no, see, that has not happened, believe it or not. Okay, Fuzz, I'll stop talking about suspensions. Yes, I'm seeing the hooks and the piercings and the oh my god! Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm reading people's comments. Yeah, and I agree with the whole wet sanity thing, because, I mean, my husband's gone before I get up, and he comes home, like, he goes to work early, he comes home, like, mid-late afternoon, so, like, majority of the day I'm home, I can't drive anymore, so I can't, like, leave the house, really, because I can't walk long distances. So it's like, yeah, I'm just sitting here doing these things and hanging out with the cats. Like, that's all I got. Which I'm more than happy with that right now. Like, I really think if this hadn't happened, even if I had stayed at like 42 subscribers, like, this kept everything in perspective and check somewhat. And critically, you don't need sleep. Don't sit there and lie like you do. Doctor, I absolutely agree. Horror community. I won't even say YouTube. I honestly think that's one of the friendliest communities I've met, even like at conventions. And anytime I'm around a big group of people that are into horror, it seems like there's some meta nerding. There's always going to be some meta nerding in any fandom, but it seems to be less in the horror community. Like, it was that whole gender thing where people are like, oh no, women get treated like such garbage in the horror community. I'm like, not really. I get treated as a fan. Nobody cares if I'm a girl or a guy or whatever. I think it's less of me. It's because you're... Thank you. Yeah, I was actually having that conversation with Critical earlier today about how I don't see a whole lot of trolling. I see more constructive thinking, and he says it's because I'm niche. I say it's because I found this weird group of awesome people, and it could easily be both. See some of the first. Yeah, I can also agree with that Critical of people seeing these terrible things. They know they're fake. I mean, there's very few instances where horror films cross the line over into real, and I think we all know them. So I won't even bother boring you guys with that. 1 second, I need some drink. So I won't bother boring you guys with that, but we see it all, and we also see people overcome that thing, though. Like, we see people kind of be strong, come out the other side of it, and it's just like, yeah, I can deal with an axe-wielding maniac. If they can deal with an axe-wielding maniac, I can go to work on Monday. It gives some perspective to life. Shelly, yeah, I absolutely love doing the controversial art series. I've been keeping track of the suggestions, and I'm gonna add another video once I feel like I have enough to do it, because I'm doing a supplemental for the plan right now is a supplemental for the controversial art series, a supplemental for horror for people that don't like horror, and movies based off real things. Because what I'm gonna try and do is, between hitting 2K and my channel is 1 year old on October 28th, I want to say it is. So between now and then, I'm trying to let me double check that. Between now and then, what I want to do is I might be throwing some extra videos in there. We'll still do the normal Monday, Thursday, but in addition to that, like, I did one with Critical, and there's some stuff in there. It's good information, but it's more joking, it's more silly, so I'll probably throw that in as an extra. So it'll just be a random week where you get 3 uploads, but I also want to go back and hit some of the favorites people had, and a lot of the input people have been giving, because I've been keeping track of that, so I can give the correct people credit. I can keep track of what I have to go through again, just so I can add all that on. Because that's just a small way of me trying to say thank you, of going back to these things people really seem to like, and really participated in and wanted to make their own, which is great. Alright, so there's that. Oh, or are you, throwing out your new channel there? Small, like, horror and fiction. Yeah, I've seen that, Doctor, a lot. People just seem to draw that line of, like, I like my death fake and not real. I I think I mentioned this in a video at one point, but I know I saw somebody try and pitch a real death site on a horror message board, and it did not go well for them at all. They were not fans. That did not happen. Okay, so, and yeah. In addition to all of the stupid in streaming, we're also getting this new back end to YouTube. So it's fun to try and freaking navigate around that, because it keeps reverting me back to the old system, and I don't really care. I want to see the thing I need to see. But yeah, there's that. I'm just double checking when the birthday is, so I figure October is a really good time to amp up content anyway, and doing it with more little thank yous to you guys I think is appropriate, and I think that's the way I'm probably going to end up going. I know I'm going to have collaborators soon. I had a collaboration. I've had 2 with Critical. I'm trying to pull somebody in for a Video Nasty series. I'm trying to pull somebody in for Influencer Trash series, because we've talked about like how some big directors have come out of just grindhousey nonsense, and we want to kind of continue on that and look at that from a slightly more academic standpoint. October 23rd is my 1-year anniversary. October 23rd, not 25th like I thought. But roll that to make sure. Okay, yeah, it's weird, because I have friends that constantly complain on Facebook and whatnot about their friends, quote unquote, sharing around real death, saying, like, if you post that beheading video, I'm gonna defriend you. And I'm like, I rarely ever see that. It's like, my friends just don't share around. Hey, Spooks! And thank you for the congratulations. And I was also on Spook Scare's channel not too long ago. I talked about 2 different kid killers. So, these videos over there, it's the first in a series on kid killers. I think the weirdest thing. Yeah, Space makes a good point of a lot of times when we see real death, it looks fake, and that could just be because we've seen fake death on screen so many freaking times, and that's now our reality. That's what we assume it looks like. So when we see it actually in real life, it doesn't meet our expectations and it looks fake. Or it's like the old Tom Savini quote. I know a couple of you probably already know this, but Tom Savini was a photographer during Vietnam. And what he would do, and specifically the problem with being a photographer during a war, is he just went around taking pictures of blown out bodies. That's all he was doing. So what he did was he convinced himself every single thing on the other side of the lens was fake. Even though he knew it was really real, he convinced himself of that. It gave him enough distance to kind of keep it together. So that's not only how he kind of staved off some of the weirder effects and harder effects of war, it's also how he became such a good special effects artist, because day in, day out, he was seeing these blown apart bodies, and you kind of figure out anatomy very quickly, I'd imagine, looking at just dead body day after day after day. Alright, I'm just looking through comments, and Marley's horrible, but I don't think it's... Yeah, we're still talking about real death in the chat, it looks like. Exactly, real death is actually much more mundane. Movies, we have to exaggerate it. Yeah, all takes a few... So, yeah, because it is... It's the noises, too. They never get the noises right in horror movies. I know plenty of people that can watch real death, but they can't do the sound. It's the gurgling, it's those death rattles. What's wrong? I can't pronounce your screen name, I'm sorry. What's that guy's name again? Are you talking about the 2 guys 1 hammer thing, or are you talking about who I was talking about with the, bodies getting blown apart? Because that was Savini. Bronx Bunny Men, we did not get hail. We started getting the storm right as I started doing this. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but yeah, no, we haven't got any hail. It's just rain. I'm gonna take it you guys are getting slammed, though. Best I've ever seen in a movie was The Apostle with Thangary hit someone. Yeah, that is that's actually a big issue I've kind of taken. The Vietnam guy, yeah, that was Tom Savini. He was a photographer, and the thing I've always kind of disliked about the way death gets portrayed, especially in action movies, especially in, to be very, very specific, PG or PG-13 action movies, is we get that, like, bang, dot of blood, guy falls down. And I'm like, look, if we're gonna do death, let's do it right. Because this is the way Asia handles it, and I've always liked the system better of either you have to show the realistic consequences of death, or you have to over-exaggerate it. And both of those make sense to me, just because I'm like, we don't want kids thinking, oh, I shoot somebody, they just fall down, and they're totally good, and they walk off. Because I know movies are fake. You don't want to do that. That just doesn't make any kind of sense to me. I've read about Mary Bell, and she was really one sick puppy. Like, there was something very wrong with that girl. I need matter. Oh yeah, and UK Shelly or Entity saw a video about somebody getting burned alive. Yeah, that is not a good way to go, dude. Seriously, like, don't. Like, it's cool. Like, I went through school. Yeah, dude, I went through college. I actually graduated like a year or so before my health went to shit. Actually, it's more like a couple of weeks. But, yeah, so I went through school. I worked 3 to 4 jobs the entire time. I got you. Like, I understand that, and please keep your money. That's why I did merchandise instead of a Patreon. I have no issue with Patreons. I do not look down on anybody that does it. I know there's a lot of drama in the community about that right now. But, yeah, that's why I did merchandise. I figured if you guys want something with a logo, that's a way for me to have my name, but I wanted to give you guys something tangible, because a lot of the Patreons, they do extra videos and stuff like that, but with it just being me and how research-intensive stuff is, like 2 a week sometimes a struggle, so I don't want to promise more if I'm not 100% sure I can deliver. And yes, Critical, I am insinuating Lethal Weapon is not a documentary. At all. No, it's not. Oh, and Space gives some really good advice that I'm just going to make sure stays in the stream. If you're ever being burned alive, breathe in as quickly and heavily as you can and keep doing it. Death from smoke inhalation is a lot bigger than the fire. Because the fire, actually isn't that the fire burns away some of your nerve endings, so you end up kind of not feeling it, and like, what you can feel are excruciating. But, yeah. Yeah, it's, not a good thing. It's definitely not, because burning people at the stake, that's not a good way to go. I know at one point, I think we figured out the worst way to go. We were talking to our neighbors, and I used to work at a brewery that was based on a farm. Now, if you've ever been to a farm, especially if there are, like, cows and horses, you will see something called a shit pit. Yes, that is the technical term, shit pit. And it's basically where all the animal poop goes. The problem is, in our state, you can't cover them for some unknown reason. Like, you can't even put mesh over them. So, the issue is, you've got these massive, deep, long pits, and that stuff becomes quicksand. Like, it is quicksand. You fall in there, you're going in, because, again, we're not too far away from the Amish community. So we had, I think a year or 2 ago, 3 guys went, because the one fell in, and the other guy went to get him out, pull him out, and he got stuck in. And then the third guy went to go save the other two, and he got stuck in. So an entire family lost their mouths off just dealing with one of these. What we realized is like that's a really bad way to go. I'm trying not to say shitty because I'm trying not to make a pun out of it. But you're drowning in quicksand that's made of poop. You're gonna start getting sick in there too, and the odds of you aspirating on that is pretty terrible. So, yeah, I think that's the worst way to go. I think we figured out that is like just the worst. I do love smoked long pig. Yeah, that is a delicacy in certain places. Bronx Money Man, you got heavy rain. Um, Alright, the Lethal Weapon movies are totally documentaries, according to Critical Android, because it totally shows the realistic consequences of death. Absolutely. Like, that's what he's saying, so it obviously has to be true. The brewery I worked at was Fry's Brewing, Freys, because it's possessive. So yeah, it's a farmhouse brewery because the town we live in is really big on craft beer, but politically sucks on craft beer because we live in the same area Flying Dog's made. And Entity, to answer your question, I don't really know. I didn't really come in here with a time frame or a plan or a schedule. I was kind of just gonna wing it for whatever you guys were cool with. Yeah, Space Ninja, I'm not doing this for 5 years. I might do YouTube for 5 years, but I'm not going to sit here talking like a jackass for 5 years. What do you think of serial killers that make paintings or art and sells it just because they're ones who painted it? Not sure. Oh, I know what you're talking about, Shelly. The whole serial killer art boom. I have some really mixed feelings about that. I think Santoro might have covered it, or if not, Rob Dyke did. But I knew about it when it first happened was John Wayne Gacy. There was a place in Vegas that was going to auction off some of his paintings, but they were going to give all of the money to a victim's charity, which I'm like, that's cool. The problem is they didn't clear it with the victim's charity first. So the victim's charity, like, we don't want to fucking touch your money. Like, no, it's terrible. You're profiteering. So I have a problem with the idea of profiteering off of it, and I don't know how much the Son of Sam laws apply to things like that. I know it applies to books and movies and things like that. This is the same reason I have really mixed feelings about Aileen Wuornos, because if you watch some of her last prison interviews, she sits there and goes on and on and on about how she was a shitty killer and how she left DNA everywhere and how they kept letting her go. And her entire theory was they kept letting her kill people so they could bust this female serial killer and make all this money, which sounds like the ramblings of a deranged person because she thought like her room was bugged, they were poisoning her food, stuff like that. Like, I understand that. So, yeah, the lady was nuts, like, totally nuts. But they made money. They made the book Monster, and then that movie made crap tons of money. How many awards Charlize Theros, Charlene there, whatever, however you pronounce her name, is made off that just because she got fat and kind of ugly for the freaking movie. So I don't know. It's weird for me as I want to know that no one's actually profiting off of it, and I'm really only cool with it if the money goes to charity, but it's still really gray for me. Yeah, no, Critical, I am saying the Lethal Weapon movies are not true to life, not at all. Yes, I've absolutely been MK Ultra'd. Why wouldn't you guys know that? Yeah, tinfoil hats do amplify your brainwaves. Do not put on tinfoil hats to get the government to not see you. Yeah, I'm going to assume Bronx Money Man, you're from Bronx or around that area, and craft beer's been a huge boom. I'm not sure geographically about that area, but I know it's doing that. Notice there's... Yeah, hi Shane, thank you. I know, all you need is blood. I was actually just talking about you and how I need to get you on here for the video nasties because of that. I love you too. I just got called mother, so I'm reciprocating. Oh, Bad Bones, my audio is being weird for you. I'm just happy it's working, honestly. Wait, we're making blood huts for Halloween? Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm not sure which cat you heard in the background. Do I have a cat around me? I actually don't. How is that possible? Oh, no, there's one hiding in a old piece of mine. Runt has made like a little tent out of an old piece I made in college. So there's that. But I haven't actually seen any of the cats in here, which is rare because they're normally in here scratching and clawing and screaming. I know you all hear them. That's why I don't put them out anymore. I just think it's funny. It's just like everybody loves kitten. Oh, you have a kitten listening with you. Yay. Yeah, there's about 2 or 3 things I love in this world, and that's horror movies, kittens, and yeah. Which kitten do you have, Space? Which kitten do you have? Which one? I'm gonna come steal it. Steal your kitten. Yeah, I'm actually not a cat or a dog person. I like everything. Just like, if I can pet it and it's happy, I'm good with it. So, just have to take. Oh, yay, sketchy. Shane, is Ziggy still destroying your apartment and trying to be another guest on All You Need Is Blood? You stay the fuck. Yeah, fine. I'll stay the fuck away from your kitten. You say that. Shelly, you have a Western hognose snake. I used to have an African house snake, and I love that thing to death. It's awesome. Fun fact: cats are evil and will eat your body and soul after you die. That's what I'm planning on. I am absolutely cats eating my body. Yeah, because I'm all about recycling. Fuzzums, my cat's names are Runt, Sketch, Jasper. Mara is the foster that we're taking in temporarily. Okay. Yeah, Bad Bones, I'm right there with you. I'm cool with that. I actually would prefer Life Pod over being buried. Yes, Charles, I'm sorry if the stream is choppy. Like, we had to get audio working in a weird way, so I'm sorry about that, but this is the best I can do. Shane made an unscheduled appearance. Did he knock something over, or did he just yell? Like, because either one of those sounds like Ziggy. Yeah. And Shane is on All You Need Is Blood with Ryan and Mike. I actually have a collaboration I did with Mike, or not Mike, Ryan. I have a collaboration I did with Ryan at Scares That Care weekend. I'm keeping it just in case there's a day I don't have content, but it's pretty fun. Ziggy apparently yelled a lot during the stream. Yeah, we were in a hotel room at STC, so luckily we didn't have the animal noises we normally do, but we had the convention going on around in a hotel madness. Luckily, they're typically all pretty good about not being assholes at STC. Can we have a post-apoc movie about cats running the world and eating dead people? Yeah, is the only objection I have to that is the disease that whatever disease virus we're working with cannot be transmittable from humans to cat. Like, or human to animal. Let's just go with animal in general. Like, kittens and puppies will just all be running around eating people. I'm good with that movie. He's only an asshole because he won't eat right now. Oh, I'm sorry, Shelly. Yeah, no, that is always worrisome when your pets won't eat. Like, that's never a thing. Yeah. So, yeah, no, post-apoc and, doing a whole freaking Words will happen. Yeah, doing an entire movie that's nothing but animal attacks and like the animal doesn't get its comeuppance is awesome because I don't like that part. Um, it's pretty easy to keep the virus only infecting humans. Well, then go ahead, space, and write it. Did anyone else have to dissect a cat in high school physiology? We actually did not. We did not have to dissect anything when I was in high school. They made the offer and said like certain people, if you wanted to take them up on it, they could. And either no one took it up on them or something fell through because it was supposed to be sharks, like baby sharks. I'm seriously not cool with that. So names are okay. Yeah. So, oh, you're from Lebanon County. That sounds familiar, and I don't know why. I could be totally wrong. Yeah, I suspected a squid in high school. Cooked it. What? Why? Like, don't they put dissection animals in formaldehyde? Like, I don't think you could just pull something out of that and, freaking, cook it, because I don't feel like you could get that out of it. I don't know how that's working. I don't know why I'm contemplating it so much. I want to have a YouTube marathon for October so I can actually post videos. Do you have any ideas or advice? On how to produce consistently? Really all I can think to see, because I've seen your videos and you do a little different than me, because what I do is, before I did the 1,000 subscriber week special, because I'm still trying to get back on track from that, I've got it gigged so I actually only record maybe every 2 weeks, and I just sit there and burn a bunch of them out. And the reason for that is just it's hard for me to sit up for long periods of time, so that's why I have to kind of rig it that way. And I guess just pick a concept and just kind of wormhole down in that and just branch off whichever way you need to, if that makes any kind of sense. Because I've done things like that. I did the doll horror episode, but then I'm doing one on mannequins, ventriloquist dummies, and puppets. And while they're all the same vein, they all revolve around different mythos. So it's one of those, it's still different information, but it kind of all branched off from the same tree, if that makes sense. Like, the collab I'm editing with Critical, I think I've got maybe 4 or 5 episodes in there, and having somebody else also helps sometimes, because they see something different and they'll bounce it and move things together, because he's more of just a pop culture junkie, I'm more horror, and it seems like every time we team up, we kind of bring something else to the other one's table. So I cannot at all do not at all underestimate the amount of just talking to people and pitching ideas. And some of the most interesting episodes I've done have been people just looking at me and asking a question and me being like, okay, well, let me try and make that a video. That's actually how the Vomit Core one happened. I had somebody jokingly asked me about it, and then I was on a stream with somebody, and somebody kept, spamming the chat asking about Vomit Core. And I'm just like, well, apparently there's a need for this, and it's actually one of my best performing videos right now. It's, I think, right below the, torture porn and, Is Snuff Real video. Yeah, and I did watch Magic for the puppet one. Because, it's hard to say no to Anthony Hopkins. And Anthony Hopkins doing horror tends to be really, really good. Yeah, that was Anthony Hopkins. I was just like, crap, did I get that? Okay, so apparently we're planning a movie about animals just killing people. So are we doing it kind of like Fido, except for they're not zombified? Because Fido, they had the collar thing, and humans were controlling them, and this would kind of be the opposite of animals are just going to run around stealing shit and eating people. Yeah, because birds will just puck out eyes. Oh, you're welcome, Bad Bones. If you need any, help or anything like that, please feel free to ask. I'm always willing to help in whatever way I can. I still kind of suck, so I'm like, I don't know how much help I can be, but I'm always willing to help. So, yeah, stealing their eyeballs. Oh, yeah, that's more of a bird thing, I thought, though. I didn't think cats really went for the eyes. It seems more like birds, get in there and scoop and whatnot, because, I don't know, their beaks, I guess it's similar to cracking a nut. That would be my assumption. I've never really researched birds and eating eyes, but now I am. Speaking of deadly animal attacks, Blood, do you recall the MST3K episode with Merlin's Shop of Magical Wonders? Not offhand, but I've probably seen it, because I've seen most of them. Yeah. I think, yeah. Now I'm just thinking about Mystery Science Theater. I'm just like, yay, it's so good. And I actually didn't mind the reboot, but I'm probably just gonna lose everybody on that one. Yeah, didn't actually hate that. I've liked their work with Rift Tracks as well. Oh, awesome Demon Cat Attack scene. Yeah, I think I have seen that one then. Yeah, the whole animal attacking human, totally fine with it. The reverse of that, not a fan. Because, like, I know you know this, and I think I've mentioned it in the past critical, is, like, I didn't see the Jaws movies until last year. I didn't see Cujo until last year. And I was specifically kind of pushing those off. Sorry, that's my medication alarm. So I was kind of specifically pushing them off because I'm like, I like the idea of the beginning of it, but I hate the idea of the end of it because I know where that's going to go. But if somebody had told me how fucking fake the shark in Jaws looked, I would have totally seen it before. And the funny thing is, it was even an editing issue because they spent all this money, the shark kept breaking. So Spielberg's like, we're going to use the shark as much as possible. We sunk all this time and money into it. And the editor's like, your shark looks really bad. How about we show it as little as possible? So that whole iconic reveal and you don't see the shark and it's all a mystery and it's very few glimpses of the monster was totally the editor's choice, not Spielberg's whatsoever. Because if he had his way, you would have seen that shark every freaking frame of that film. Oh, okay. It took me a minute to figure out what the hell you were talking about because you said the virus will be a airborne form of HIV. Like, that's horrifying. But, yeah, no, you guys are still talking about the Animal Attack movie. Yeah, Cujo, like, I can be okay with it. It's weird because I like Dee Wallace, but I kind of liked watching her get attacked for a while because I'm like, you're kind of a hussy in this movie. But, H1N1 is more likely to happen, I think. Yeah. Oh, and Everett, when are you gonna make another movie, man? Like, serious. I mean, YouTube episode. Serious. I liked the first one. You were correct. Yeah, no, H1N1 is some, really not nice stuff. That's a little scary. The biotech industry around here is a little too big. Luckily, we're in a quick kill zone, so if shit ever breaks off, I'm, like, dead. Like, flat out. It's just, I'm dead. And I accept that. The, military base right near us, they get prided on their work with cancer. And it's funny because everybody knows it's not cancer. It's like, you don't shut buildings down and quarantine them for anthrax when you're researching cancer. I mean, they might have something like that going on, but they got way more shit going on over there. And, you guys are planning a ninja kitty squad revenge movie. Okay, yeah. Keep going. I'm done with research. I found some rare pictures. Oh, great. So, yeah, definitely. Let me know when it goes up because I've subscribed to you. I've got the notification bell on. The problem is I have my notification bell on for so many people, and it just sometimes slips through. So, please, if you remember, just send it to me whenever you're done, because I really enjoyed the last one. Evers does a true crime channel that he started up, and his first video actually was really freaking impressive, and about 1,000 times better than my first video. So, you all should go look at that. Feel sorry for Cujo. Yeah, I did too. He's like, he was just kind of hanging out, and just a bad bit on him. Like, that sucked. Yeah, felt sorry for King Kong when he shot off the building. Yeah, he was out in his own environment, like, just hanging out. It's like, you brought him to the city. Like, what made you think that was a good idea? I understand you wanted to make money, but you have this horrible monster that's never been around people, and you think putting a whole bunch of people around him is a smart plan? That's dumb. I was actually one of them. Oh, That is not a good claim to fame, Bad Bones. She's one of the first people diagnosed with swine flu, and was you were super hospitalized. Yeah, I've been there too. Guys are talking about, but it was rough. Yeah, the scary thing about the H1N1 is more the ability to mutate. It's like, I know people recover and it's not as deadly as it can be, but just the mutation after mutation, you're just not sure when it's going to stop. Um, Paper when he took. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. There was that guy that made a paper about he took H1N1 and made it way more virulent, meaning it could infect way more people. And it was more about exercise and philosophy, and I think his stuff held true. Just no one would let him publish it because they're like, people don't need that information. You're essentially giving people a way to kill a lot of people very, very quickly. Just every time I hear or see something like that, I'm just like, and Captain Trips is coming, and that's not cool, because the stand is amazing, but yeah, it's a little too close to home sometimes. Uh, Critical. On a lighter, non-pandemic note, if there were 76 troublesome leading and trombones leading a big parade, why do they need... Why do they... I'm guessing because their trombones are deeper and carry more than clarinets. I think is what you were trying to say there. I'm not sure if you had that right. If not, I'm wrong. Right, but yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, Everett, do what you can. Like, hey Nick, you came at the wrong time about trombones. It could be a sex thing. It absolutely could be a sex thing. Everett, I mean, do what you can. Like, you always want to keep quality on your content. The big reason, the yeah, that's why I know Rain said it a million times. I know Rob Dyke says it a million times. I know every big YouTuber says it, is keep a consistent schedule. And half keep a consistent schedule and half just make sure you're not putting out shit just to put out shit. It doesn't work that way. I mean, it does, and you'll have videos, but you won't necessarily have people wanting to watch them. Because like I said, I was really impressed by your first video. I really liked it. It was about a billion times better than my first one. So if you keep building on what you already have, you're going to do great. So just do it when you got it. Doctor asked what type of music I listen to. Okay, I'm going to go total basic bitch with this response, and I'm sorry about that, but also kind of not. I do listen to a little bit of mixture of anything. The two things I can't handle for prolonged periods of time are bluegrass, polka, and trance. It gets too... Bluegrass gets too twangy, polka gets too just repetitive, and trance just bass, and I eventually just get a headache. Oh. Alright. See you, Fuzzums. I know your battery's about ready to die, so... You man. Really, you're making a Music Man reference at me, Critical? You're making a Music Man reference at me. You really think I'm gonna remember? I never actually saw the Music Man. It's weird, because much like horror, I have some big gaps in my musical viewing history, because as much as I love them, it's hard to get around everything. No, dude, Everett, you can do that. It's fine. Yeah, because we're kind of just guessing here. Like I said, I kind of came in with a plan. I gave some channel updates. I can repeat them if people need or want, but yeah, it was more or less letting you guys kind of dictate what you wanted to talk about. And plenty of you guys have come to me saying you want to start a channel or asking how to improve your channel or something like that. Industrial polka band would be very, very different than just a straight up polka band, okay? Like, there's got that industrial flair to it. When you do the fusion, I'm sure it would sound interesting. Okay, so now everybody's on me for like disliking polka. It's like, wait, polka, like I said, I can do like maybe 10 minutes of it, and after that I'm done. Jazz, depending on, I've heard very little of it I disliked, but it's not necessarily something I pick over other things. It's not something I would turn off though. Yeah, so okay, so that's fine as long as we, fuse things. Yeah, no, like anybody that's in here, and because I know I shared it on my social media, so if you don't follow me on social media, you didn't see it. Ever did a video about true crime, and it was shit. It was the Eight Immortals restaurant, I believe, and what happened there. And there's actually several movies based on it. So, so oh yes, I actually really, really wanted to learn to play the accordion. I don't know why, but I did. And the problem is, again, big Amish community, so it totally fucks over your ability to get an accordion. I'm not even joking, because you can't plug it in. So any music shop that ever got accordions in, they would just come and wipe them out. Because my brain holds information like this. So, yeah, KMFTM, Bronkovich. Yeah, that would be pretty bad. I mean, he could do one of his medleys to them. He definitely could do that. I don't know if he's aware of them enough, because Yankovic did admit, like, in the recent albums, he went to his daughter to find out what was hip and popular. So it made me feel good that I'm about as hip and pop, like, as with the kids are, with music, as Weird Al Yankovic. Blood, are there any horror movies that have polka music or is polka? Okay, I have never seen any horror movies contain polka music, but it would not surprise me if there are some that do. Horror-based polka, I have this weird feeling that exists though, because bands like Creature Feature do. So, that's just gonna happen. Yeah, and if it doesn't exist, it needs to be made. Because, oh god, who was I telling about this the other day? I was telling somebody about this the other day where we were talking about Tiptoe Through the Tulips and how you can repurpose that and it becomes scary. It's actually, I think, critical. And they were talking, oh god, it was Insidious that used it. The problem is, Tiny Tim had done Blood Harvest, where he did sing Tiptoe Through the Tulips with the ukulele. And he was dressed as a clown, and it was this horror movie where Tiny Tim just going around dressed as a clown killing people. It was really strange, and it never made it off VHS, but it's a good movie and totally worth it. Because Tiny Tim's actually a pretty good actor. If he didn't pass away so suddenly, he probably would have done a little bit more with that. Because apparently the guy just walked up to him in a fair and said, hey, want to make a horror movie? And he's just like, yeah, sure, why not? And like, you gotta respect that work ethic. Alright. No, I do not have a squeeze box critical. My, yeah, no, I do not have a squeeze box at all. That my lament actually was the lack of squeeze box. I need you to actually pay attention. No, Nick, I'm not giving him a medal. Do not encourage critical. He did not get a nat 20. Yeah, I know, critical. I addressed that it was I'm talking to you. Yeah, no, Nick, you still need to watch it. Just come over at some point and we'll put it in, because I have, like, that and the August Undergrounds and a couple others put aside for you. Because I know I promised you a couple of different movies. So, we just need to at some point make a day of it. And at some point I need to get out behind my backlog of audio. Sometimes I need to get out from my backlog of audio to freaking actually do some research watches, because I keep saying that every single week. I'm like, did you do research watches? Because I actually love watching things, and it keeps getting sidetracked. I'm sorry, I keep laughing because the chat is like, I told Nick not to encourage critical, and now him and Space are both encouraging critical, and critical is now bragging about how he's being encouraged, and ever was worried about taking out my stream. But there can only be one. Is this Highlander or some shit? Really? Really? You want to fight me? Seriously, Critical, you want to fight me for this channel? If you kill me, do you get the channel? I don't know. You choose Cat Mod? That's not my name! Wait, yeah, women can be captains. It's not a gender-specific thing. I was just like, wait, because Janeway. I'm waiting for Spades to scream, shut up at me. Wait, if we live streamed a fight between me and Critical, would people pay for that? I think we have a money-making idea here, Critical. This is what I call a timely interruption. I don't know if you heard that. My husband just screamed from downstairs, fuck Janeway. I was waiting for that. Almost accidental sexism. It's like saying mailman. It's like, no one's gonna use the word male person. That's stupid. And yes, Nick, I am assuming your gender. But yes, so... Oh, you'd pay $1 to watch me and Critical fight on live stream? Okay. Well, we figured out how to get audio tonight, so if you give me like 2 hours late the next time, I should be able to figure out video. That's just the trend is going. Okay, see ya, Ever. Thank you for stopping by. Definitely get back to work and make sure you get paid. And good luck on the video making, man. Like, again, if you need help, just come ask. I'll do what I can. You put your finger in a mailman once, Nick? In a mailman. Not on him, not around him, not near him, on him. Or, no, in him. Yeah, because you can sit in the couch. Yeah, you can sit in a chair, but you can't sit in the sofa. Yeah, that's how English works for you. Okay, so, yeah, was anybody... See ya, Ever. Oh, I'll take one. Oh, really? Really? You're gonna sit here and... So, Critical, you're just gonna sit here and try and fight me physically and then disown Janeway? Seriously? Seriously. Welcome back, Bad Bones. And, Nick, I will judge you. I will judge you all the live long day. This is my stream. See the little crown next to my name? See it? See it? See it? Yeah. Yeah, it's Queen. Or, I guess King, because there's male streamers too. Whatever. I hate this fight. Yeah, I did offer to hire you as my hype man. What are you doing, man? I've been doing my own social media here. I just keep having these terrible flashbacks, and I'm kind of glad our other friends are not in here, because when I cracked 1,000, I was helping my friend move, and every 5 seconds I went to pick something up, they kept screaming at me that I couldn't because I was YouTube famous. I'm like, dude, no, not even remotely. And it's become this constant eye roll and a constant fight between us. No, Critical, do not encourage him. Do not encourage him. Don't encourage him. Fine, Nick, you invite them. Earn your cut, man. Be my hype man. I'm gonna get you a clock. I'm gonna tie a rope around it. You're gonna wear it as a necklace. We're all good. Wait. He can't be my hype man and your boxing manager. I already called him. Like, you don't understand how this works. You don't understand how Dibs works, man. You're assuming Critical's a cripple? Are you assuming his ability? Are you being ableist right now? Are you being ableist? Hey Shane, see you, man. Good luck on your recording, and I need to stop screaming random bullshit right now. Need to find a topic. So, yeah, was anybody not here at the beginning of the stream for the couple of channel announcements? Because I could repeat them if need be. I just don't want to keep repeating them if like people heard and they're just like, yeah, we know, shut up, bitch. Well, yeah, you are here, Nick. We are well aware you are here. You will not let anybody forget, especially critical. Apparently, you two are buds now. Seriously, man? Okay, you weren't here. So basically, all I announced in the beginning. So all I announced at the beginning is AI launched merchandise in celebration of 2K. This is also what this stream is about, and apparently cripple fights and writing movies where animals eat us. The video that released yesterday had a kind of stylistic change. I'm not sure how many people actually watch the videos or just listen, and I don't care how you guys enjoy them. I'm glad you're enjoying them. So if people like that, I'm going to keep going with that. If people don't like it, well, then that's fine too. I just kind of need to know. I'm also going to be trying to work on some audio changes in the future. I'm going to have to save up for a new mic, but I'm going to try and work with things and make it cleaner in the meantime. So, video, audio, merge. The only other major thing is between hitting 2K and my channel anniversary for 1 year is on October 23rd of this year. So what I will be doing for that in the meantime is I've got a couple of episodes I'm still working on, and some of them, like, they're fun, they're lighthearted, there's some information in them, so I think they should be on the channel, but they're not nearly as serious and well-researched as the other ones I do. So I'll be throwing those out from time to time, just kind of as a bonus episode. So you'll be getting 3 that week instead of the 2. And I'm going to be revisiting some older series, like horror for people that don't like horror, the controversial art timeline, and movies based off real events and things like that, because people have been suggesting stuff. So I'm going to try and revisit all those series just to kind of let people know, hey, I am paying attention, I am listening to you guys, I am listening to your feedback. I absolutely want to hear what you're saying. And because I'm still also working on viewer requests, because I broke things into phases. All the viewer requests that came before 1K, I have in phase 1, and those are the ones I'm currently trying to grind on, and I've got my ducks in a row. I've got the bones of at least of each episode. And then there's phase 2, which is everything that came after the 1K video, where I kind of listed out what things were at. And again, I will take these things. I am always paying attention to you guys. I don't want you guys to ever feel like I'm not, because you guys are kind of the reason I'm keeping doing this, or at least doing this with the frequency I am. So yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, it's nothing important, it's nothing super exciting. Sorry about that, but it is what it is for right now. So, looks like everything's kind of dying out though, so I may be getting off of here soon, unless somebody had any last questions or anything that would be of particular interest to them, or something like that. Just kind of let me know. I think people are either getting back to work or stopping procrastinating at work, which either one's fair. Like, don't lose your job to be in a live stream. And another thing, I'm very, very early stages of this. I'm not even sure. Fuck it, I'll announce it. I'm thinking of possibly changing my channel schedule, still doing 2 videos a week, just changing times to hit more people. And again, like I said, it was never a numbers game for me. It's just kind of trying to see what works best for everybody. So if you guys, like, if I do that, I will be saying, hey, we're changing from this to this to this to this, and that's all just trying to game YouTube's analytics. I've been stupid. Yeah, that was a bad place to cut that sentence. See you, Critical. Get some sleep. You work night shifts, so, you know, yeah. But, yeah, I've been stupid lucky. I've, at this point in time, been avoiding all of the demonetization, because I am monetized, I haven't made any money off of it, and honestly, like I've said, the absolute best thing I could ever hope for financially from this channel is to break even. I paid for software, I do pay for movie rentals. Actually, luckily I collect dead media, so I can easily pick up a lot of the older films I need for research watches for like 25 cents if I just pick them up on VHS, which I have no issue doing. I'm actually just kind of grab when I go just in case. So that's the thing, like, as long as I'm breaking even, and I was going to probably buy a lot of those movies anyway, so I don't really count that. That's all I would ever really want out of this. But my original point is I've been somehow flying under the radar of YouTube enough that I haven't been getting demonetized. Because my three most successful videos right now are torture porn, snuff, and vomit gore. All of them are tagged with that. They all have it in the title. I'm never gonna not tell you guys what you're gonna see here. Like, it's only fair if you're gonna come here and watch my content, I'm gonna let you know, like, hey, you're in for some messed up shit. Or you're in for this really out there idea. And it's gonna keep going from there, and I always make sure my titles reflect that. So it's not like I'm hiding from YouTube, I've just not got monetization fairy. I'm gonna assume I'm watching kind of all these really talented creators get hit, and I've somehow been lucky. I'm at that weird, awkward, prepubescent stage, it seems, in YouTube, where I... Oh, sorry, my stream seems to be letting down. This... But I've been very lucky that they haven't kind of seen me, because I'm definitely not advertiser friendly, even though I definitely play within YouTube's guidelines. That's why you guys see me kind of get really anal about the way I explain things or how much I do on images, because frankly it's gotten to the point where I don't even trust YouTube's blur feature, because it's actually been a problem more than once. That transsexuality and horror episode, I can't remember who it was, but if you're on this stream, thank you. I did that reveal at the end where you see a bit of, you see a bit of genitalia, and my blur from YouTube was about half a second too late. And somebody months later pointed it out to me, meaning that video had been running for months and nobody had reported me. So now I did this in the necrophilia episode. I take stuff, I put it in GIMP, I blur it there, and then I blur YouTube on top of it. So it's like there's no way you're seeing anything. Even if it is late, it doesn't matter. My men's bluntness might protect me. That would be the first time my men's bluntness has ever helped me in any situation. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Nick. I somehow... But, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, like I said, I've always been upfront with what you're going to see here, and somehow I always end up on the topic of poop or genitals. I every single time, because I've already talked about dicks a couple times in this stream. I haven't talked about poop. No, I talked about shit pits. Yeah, I talked about poop. That has been true since the controversial art timeline, though, and that's one of the first things I seriously did. That was the first series I ever had on here. Hey, Blood, getting back to the shit pit, Des. How do you know of a horror movie where someone dies from shit? Yes! Sleepaway Camp 2. Porta potties. Like, she technically died from the leeches, but the leeches were kind of in there because the poop and the pee was in there. So, you know your audience, we like dicks and shit. Yeah. Yeah, apparently that's what plays for me, which is weird because now I'm trying to remember if the Snuff episode or yeah, my three top performings. I think only I think it was only the Vampire that did dicks and shit. Fools, you should do a modified. The blood is replaced with poop. From a graphic standpoint, the brown in poo would not show up against the black background. Nick at Sleepaway Camp 2, not Sleepaway Camp 1. Sleepaway Camp 2 definitely had the infinitely better kills. I actually like that one a little better. 3 sucked, though. It was kind of hilarious, because it's like, wait, 2 and 3 were recorded back to back. Why is 2 so good and 3 so bad? But in rewatching it for that episode, it kind of did hit me that they really stopped treating Angela as, oh my god, she used to be a guy. It was, no, she's a human being with a very strong sense of morality. It just expresses itself in really bad ways. I'll talk about 4. I mean, it's production footage mostly, unless we're counting. Okay, Sleepaway Camp's weird because they had the 4th one that they wanted, but it never got past the production stage. So you can get this weird bonus disc on some of those box sets that has just a bunch of put together footage. It's stupid and I don't like it. It's boring. Unless you want to be a filmmaker and look at production footage, don't watch it. Violent Shit only went up to 3. I know you say Diarrhea 4, but Violent Shit only went up to 3. And that's the only movie I can think of with shit in the title. I mean, wait, Monster and Killer Crapper, but yeah, those were shorts and they only had 1. Anyway. But then they did all those weird sequels like Return to Sleepaway Camp, Son of Sleepaway Camp, and all that technically are in the series, but chronologically I'm not sure how they fit. It's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know how to marathon that series anymore. I'm just like, wait, this starts here, but that starts here. And I don't care that stock changes. I do care that the timeline makes no sense. Wait, was 4 the one with the kid who kept... I think so. I think that was the one with the kid that kept yelling, smell my ass. Yeah, that was Return. And if you're counting 4 as Return, then yeah, you're right. Because I think it was the 4th, like, official movie. But there was technically 4, which kind of came out. It was, I think in that weird phase where, because I've seen 3 different iterations of it. I saw the Red Cross one that they got sued for, because they had that box set with the Red Cross logo, and Red Cross was not happy about it, which I can understand. I don't think most charities want to be associated with somebody running around murdering campers. But at the same time, you've got there was the one where they removed the Red Cross logo, but it still had the bonus disc in it, and then after that, I guess they just decided the bonus disc wasn't worth it anymore, and they pulled that as well. It was in the same box. But I am going to head off of here because it does seem like everybody's kind of hanging out and probably going to eat dinner. So, alright, love you guys, thank you. I can't thank you all enough for me getting to 2K. Appreciate you guys being here. If you guys want more streams, let me know. Now that we know how to get fucking audio through the encoder and to YouTube, that we're gonna work on. Keep kicking ass. I will do my best, Nick. I will do my best to keep kicking ass in the name of the Lord. So I'm gonna probably end up leaving this up on YouTube if you want to check it out later. They're probably gonna hear me rambling like a jackass, but that's okay. And again, you guys want more streams, just... Hi, Miss Lizzie! Oh, I'm sorry you just can't... Did you just come in, sweetie? But yeah, if you guys want more of these, just let me know and I'm willing to do them. Because, again, this doesn't take a whole lot of prep time. I let you guys kind of direct the conversation. So, alright, bye, you guys. Alright.